Put God first. Put God first in everything you do. Everything that you think you see in me, everything that I've accomplished, everything that you think I have, and I have a few things, everything that I have is by the grace of God. Understand that. I've been protected. I've been directed. I've been corrected. I've kept God in my life and it's kept me humble. I didn't always stick with him, but he always stuck with me. So stick with him in everything you do. If you think you want to do what you think I've done, then do what I've done and stick with.
I'm thankful that I had a praying mother. I was a heroin addict. I was a crack cocaine addict. I used to lock myself in hotel rooms and get high. And my mom would pray, and she said, "Did you get sick on your way to the drug corner?" And I said, "I did." She goes, "Good. I prayed God would make you so sick that you could not get high." I said, "Leave me alone, you crazy woman. Leave me alone." And she goes, "No, you're going to get saved." I was literally dying as a drug addict. She goes, "I just heard from the Lord." She goes, "The Lord told me you'll be preaching the gospel and you're never going to do drugs again." I said, "Oh my goodness, she's lost it." 3 weeks later, I said, I'm going to follow her to church. Fell on my knees, and I've never done drugs since. I tell everybody I'm here because I had a praying mother and a merciful God. Do not stop praying for your children. Do not stop praying for your loved ones, because I promise you, if you continue to pray, God is going to answer that.
We find Jesus spending a night in prayer. Now, he only had 3 years of public ministry, but he found it necessary to spend nights in prayer. And if Jesus Christ had to spend all night in prayer, how much more should we feel compelled to spend in prayer?
Everything that has anything to do with peace or joy or being successful in life is all based on the foundation of knowing who you are in Christ, that he loves you, 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 loves you.
Because a man comes to him and says to him, "Is it all right to pay taxes to Caesar?" And what did Jesus say? "Do you have a coin?" The man said, "Yes." He said, "Give me the coin." He picked up the coin and looked at the man and said, "Give to Caesar that which belongs to Caesar, but give to God that which belongs to God." The man should have had a second question. That question was, what belongs to God? He looked at the coin. Whose image? Caesar. Give to Caesar that which belongs to Caesar. Give to God that which belongs to God. The man should have said, what belongs to God? Jesus would have said, whose image is on you? You are a person with a DNA, and God's image is on you in a general sense. God's unique gifting is in you in a particular sense.
Anxiety is a signal alerting you that it's time to pray. In other words, if it's big enough to worry about, it's big enough to pray about. If it's on your mind, it's on God's heart. Be anxious about nothing, but in every situation, take your request to God. If you're worried about your upcoming doctor's appointment, pray about it. If you're worried about a decision that you need to make, pray about it. If you're worried about going back to school, who's going to be in my class, what teacher am I going to get, are the kids going to be nice to me, pray about it. If you're worried about your kid going back to class because you don't know how you're going to afford the scientific calculator that costs the same as a used Honda Civic, pray about it. If it's on your mind, it's on God's heart.
Fervent, prioritized prayer. Y'all, you can't have victory if you don't pray. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Prayer is the key that unlocks the resources of heaven so that they can be unleashed on planet Earth. Prayer is the key He's actually given you to get all the good stuff down here. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to wait to get to heaven to experience all that God has for me. Any bits of heaven he plans to give me on earth, I want it right now. Prayer accesses the bits of heaven he intends to give you now. And prayer, listen, prayer is what pushes the kingdom of darkness back. It's what pushes it back. That's why Jesus said, my house shall be called not a house of good preaching, not a house of good singing, not a house of great spotlights and production, not a house of great cafes. I hope you have all of that. Enjoy it. But Jesus said at the end of the day, my house better be called a house of prayer. Because spotlights and fog machines and great singing and great preaching, that won't necessarily push the kingdom of darkness back. But when my people who are called by my name, when they will humble themselves and when they'll pray, he says, then I'm going to hear from heaven. I'm going to heal the land. The enemy will have to bend the knee at the name of Jesus in prayer.
Maybe you've been in a state of depression, and so you feel like God is not with you. Or maybe you've been in a cycle of failure, so it's apparent to you that God has forsaken you. But I wanted you to know today, if you have the faith to believe it, that the times when the process is the most invisible, the times when the process is the most painful, the times when your faith feels like absolutely nothing against the needs that are in your life, this is the time to rejoice, because what's happening under the ground